Welcome, everybody, to the H3 Podcast Live. Today's episode is sponsored by Hinge and Hims. Thank you for them. Today's guest is Tim Heidecker, the triple threat, I would even say. Musician, actor, comedian. In my humble opinion, one of the most influential comedians of our generation. Can I say that?
Yes. Most.
I would say one of the most.
Okay.
I can't think of a more influential one off the top of my head in my life. But I can definitely tell you on my part that I wouldn't be in comedy today, I think, if it wasn't for this fine man's influence.
Wow.
So,
we're going to get some tears on
thank you to that. Check out Tim's live tour on Cinema Live. Check out Tim Heidecker and Greg Turkington live. Go to timheidecker.com/events for dates and tickets.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
Very grateful and very honored to have you with you. Yeah, I know. It's always tough. It's tough to get through that. What'd you think about that intro? Was it too much?
It was very sarcastic, I assume.
Not sarcastic
at
all. Yeah, okay, good. Fuck. See, you're already fucking with me.
I'm trying to put you at ease.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be uncomfortable. I want this to be a positive experience for you. Most important.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad to hear that because I have to admit that I was nervous. I mean,
you should, yes.
I was nervous,
that.
but I'll tell you why. Because I wasn't sure which Tim I was going to get.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
The real Tim or the interview Tim?
The interview Tim.
That kind of makes like a parody of interviews.
We'll see how it goes.
Oh, no.
But I feel like I'm in a different place right now.
Really?
We have some mutual friends, and I'm interested to talk to you in a open and frank manner without any kind of aggression.
Aggression. Well, it's not necessarily
aggression,
but
sort of
it's
confusion.
Well, you said you're in a different place. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, I guess I've done a fair amount of the kind of Kaufman-esque, uncomfortable interviews, which are fun sometimes and funny. Sometimes result in funny content.
Absolutely.
Content.
Definitely. I've enjoyed watching them.
So I feel like I've done that. I've done enough of that where to keep doing it sometimes becomes redundant and not as much fun. And now that maybe I've made enough stuff that there is interesting things to talk about, maybe it's an interesting experience to watch me talk about things in more of a sincere fashion.
Is it harder for you to be? Is it easier in a way to do interviews under that Kaufman-esque kind of?
No, it's actually a little easier to do it this way because I'm not worried about being in a bit the whole time. But we'll see. I mean,
we'll check it out. We'll see how this goes.
I think I have a propensity to be amusing without being confrontational.
Sure. Yeah.
So, but now we're like it's funny that we're analyzing the style of interview.
We haven't really talked at all.
Right, no.
Yeah.
We're just
I guess we should start.
Little foreplay.
Yeah. Well, now that we got that out of the way, let me ask you.
Thanks for the coffee.
Yeah, God bless. How is it?
And it's very good.
Cool.
Good balance? It's black, so it's kind of hard to mess up.
Yeah, it's just black. When
did you start drinking black coffee? Was that right away, or were you cream?
First grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were sipping coffee in first?
No, I mean, that's a very boring question to start off with.
Well, we're getting our feet in the. We're tipping our toes in here. You know.
You are good.
Yeah. Who has the braveness to ask?
I think I did. It's boring, but I did drink coffee in high school at the diner level. You know, going
with
out
the cream and the sugar.
Yeah, and then. Excuse me. And then I stopped for a long time after a very anxiety. I drank a lot of coffee. I just remember drinking a lot of iced coffee once at a movie with a friend of mine and got the full panic.
Caffeine.
The panic, like over-caffeinated panic, cocaine feeling, and then stopped for a long time. But then, the past, I would say 15 years, I drink coffee in the morning. But to get even more in the weeds and boring,
first of all, this is
an event tonight. So I usually can't drink coffee after lunch.
Sure.
But now I have something to do tonight, so I'm gonna let myself have some coffee so I can talk very fast during this interview and we can get through it.
Right. Sure.
And I could be full of my brain fires off.
What do you have going on tonight?
I'm doing a musical performance for Kevin McDonald's podcast that he does live. I don't know anything about. So
that sounds.
You know the guy Kevin McDonald from The Kids in the Hall?
Okay.
You know The Kids in the Hall?
I do know that show, but I don't know them on a name basis. Yeah. Are you going to be drinking more coffee after this cup?
No.
This is the last cup.
I got to come down now.
Okay. I do want to ask you. So I feel like myself and many of my contemporaries are so equally influenced by your work.
How old are you? By the way, this could turn into a co-interview.
Yeah.
Because I don't know very much about you.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know a little bit, but I don't know the background.
Yeah, sure.
So and I apologize because your audience probably knows this. So it's redundant for them.
No, it's all great.
It's
but
cool.
I might just be curious because I have my own show.
Please ask away. That is totally fine. But I'm 32 by the way. 33.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
So we're about 10 years apart.
Yeah.
I'm 42.
So I would say, well, basically people who were in college at the time that Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job, came out. Because that's when I discovered you guys. And for me, I remember, and I think a lot of people do, remember the exact moment when they saw your show. Almost like on 9/11, almost in a weird, it's like, wow, it was that formative.
That bad?
Yeah, it was that formative.
Wow. So tell me about that.
I was in college, 3 a.m., playing World of Warcraft in a little shithole apartment by myself. And I just had Adult Swim on. It was like some anime. And then on came Tim and Eric.
Not Tom Goes to the Mayor.
No.
The awesome show.
On came Awesome Show. And it was just the editing, the colors, the sketches, the surrealism.
Were you a comedy fan before that?
Yes.
Were you liked what? Like what would you have been?
Well,
Arrested
I love
Development?
Seinfeld, to be frank.
Sure.
I love Seinfeld. That's always been my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I loved comedy, but I wasn't so much, in deep.
Right.
But I'll tell you, when I saw that, and I was like mind blown, because I didn't know that you could kind of be funny in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it was done in a way that I was like accessible to me in a way.
It seemed like you could maybe do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it what
Seinfeld didn't felt.
I can never
away.
do that.
Yeah.
I can never ever do that.
Still feels so far away.
Yeah. Although, do you notice now if you watch it on Hulu, it feels like a set now. It feels like the way they stretched it or the way they've made it like a.
I think the problem is that all of our TVs are so good.
Yeah.
That you can see
like the
true.
cheapness, like them walking down that street. You're like, oh, it's a backlot.
There's too much detail now.
But
anyway, great. You like Seinfeld? You a fan?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. I could watch that every night.
Yeah.
It's
probably
crazy. So good. So basically, when I saw that, I knew in a way that I was like, oh man, I would love to work in comedy. All of a sudden, that crystallized.
This video game, and you did like a
yeah. I put down the video game, and I told all my friends about it too. I will say I was your messenger.
Now,
I was.
What people
Paul
always
Revere.
tell me is they say I was such a fan of you guys. All my friends hated it.
No, all my friends loved it.
Okay,
everyone.
Because I would always find that where people are like,
it's a little backhanded.
Oh my, yeah. It's like I don't need to hear that.
You liked it. Leave it there.
Oh, people love to tell me like these backhanded things. Like I loved your show, but my boyfriend, he hated it.
That's funny.
Okay, I don't need to know those.
That is true.
It happens to us a lot.
They go, my friend's a huge fan of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
Tell me about you. Mm-hmm. Come on.
About those times, that was the time around when we met, and I was in Israel.
Yes.
And Ethan was here, and we were talking over Skype like every day. And he would always try to send me your guys' sketches, and it wouldn't work in Israel.
Block.
Geotag.
And we were always like, I want to see it. I want to see what you're talking about. Like, you couldn't stop talking about it.
It was forbidden fruit.
It was forbidden fruit. And I think we downloaded a bunch of them. I apologize for that. I believe they were pirated, but I was spreading the word.
You don't care. You're BitTorrenting everything.
Yeah. At that time, that was, yes.
Yeah,
that was
the pirate.
Common at
but
that time.
I brought it to Israel. And I remember sitting down your sister and being like, you got to watch this Brownie Mountain shit. And she liked it. Everyone was loving it. So I'm not one of those guys. But anyway, to the question that I have
question
is that, first of all, you probably hear that a lot from people that you have influenced their comedy. How do you accept that level of praise? I mean, do you accept that? Do you know what I mean?
Not really. I mean, first of all, I think when we talk about our work, it is not just me. It's Eric. It's John Kreisel. It's Doug Lusenhop. It's the whole. It's a collective of people that made that what it was. So I'm okay. It's not. I'm not too. Narcissistic about it. That this is all me. I'm a part of it. But yeah, so much of that period was making stuff in such an insular way, in such a for ourselves, that whether people dug it or not was kind of not as important to us,
right.
And we prided ourselves on that we were not doing anything for fans. We were not fan friendly.
Right.
Not that we were very nice to our fans, I think, and but we weren't trying to please anyone but ourselves. So it's cool to have, because I had the Kids in the Hall. We were talking before the show that something like the Kids in the Hall were totally influential to me, and Saturday Night Live and all those. And then you get to meet those people sometimes in life, and you get to share that with them, and it's nice. It's definitely nice. I appreciate it, and I'm glad that those people are out there. I'm glad it usually results in kind of decent people too, or interesting people.
I think so. But I think it's interesting what you said about that you guys were making it for yourselves, because I definitely think that shows that you almost didn't care about how accessible it was to anyone that wasn't like initiated, or I don't know how to say it, but definitely part of what was special about it too. I think in a sense that it was very much your own, just really your guys' own thing. Yeah,
we had a strong sense of what we thought was funny, and we felt like we were delivering to each other that. We were making ourselves laugh, and the stakes were so low. I mean, we were on in the middle of the night, and we were given very little money relatively to make something, and so it just seemed like we were most of the time learning on the job and making stuff. And especially in the first season, you see stuff that was shot like in the hallways and like out in front of the office. That was all like, probably a lot of that was like making a first pass at something and it not working, and then going like, well, let's just go outside and shoot something, So we were given just tremendous kind of freedom to experiment, to figure it out.
What time did it originally air on Adult Swim?
It's like 12:30 or something like that, 12:15 maybe. It was like really fun to tell your parents that you have I'm on TV at 12:15 on something called Adult Swim, which is
new at the time, wasn't it?
Relatively? It was a couple years. Yeah, it had been around for a few years, but nobody still knows what. I mean, it's like,
well, Rick and Morty.
I saw your show on Comedy Central, like.
Oh, they don't even know the network they saw.
Yeah. And it's still like people. The funny thing this year has been this free real estate meme.
Oh, we wanted to ask you about that. What happened?
I don't know. I mean, it comes out of nowhere. Yeah. Right. It comes out of the Reddit internet.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have any connection to the work, really, to the original piece or to who I am or anything. And so I had this little part in the Ant-Man movie, and people on the internet are like, hey, did you know the guy from the free real estate meme is in Ant-Man?
Know what it is.
It's like,
that's so funny.
And then people get mad about that. And so it's a weird thing. And then it's happened to Eric with the universe thing. And, it's like...
That's true.
It's
How does that feel almost to be like, it's like appreciating a piece without knowing the origin? Does that bother you at all?
It does a little bit. I think it certainly does, but also there's a resignation to not having any control over that. So it's become yours. It's whatever.
Kind of cool too. On the other,
it's fine. I mean, I saw a fucking free real estate mural somewhere, and it's just. I love that sketch.
Me too.
I mean, and like I remember writing it, and like. It being such a simple, stupid idea, knowing that you didn't have to do very much to make it work. And
I want to ask you about that specific sketch, because I always wonder, like, where's your guys' minds when you?
We're high. I mean, we just get super.
Are you serious?
No,
you guys?
No,
all right.
no.
I feel like
that's always the.
No,
that's always the
didn't,
assumption.
I didn't assume that. I genuinely think you can't be that creative when you're.
No.
Not like that.
No, I don't remember specifically that idea.
Where your head was at.
It's really probably comes down to it's free real estate. Let's do a commercial where we're probably seeing a late night
some corny real estate.
Some real estate commercial, and making that little turn, and then knowing that we could just go in front of a green screen for a half hour,
right.
and we would give it to our boys, and they would turn it into, as Doug would say, we give them, give him some shit to shine.
Is that what it feels like sometimes? Because I feel like our style is similar to yours, obviously, being inspired from you. But a lot of times we'll go just fuck around in front of a camera, and then it's like, I have no idea if that was any good or not, but I'm going to sit and edit it for 1,000 years, and that'll work out, hopefully.
Yeah, I think we've gotten more efficient with that, I think. And our style or our interest in what we want to make has changed a little bit. So there's some stuff we've done that's more conceived and thought out and planned. And then that becomes pretty much what you intended it to be.
Like bedtime stories.
Yeah, it's just like
fully planned out.
Yeah,
really.
It's like not that different than the script. And great things happen in the edit, but then, there are lots of great moments from Awesome Show that were just like, I don't know, fucking put on some crazy wig and, march around and we'll figure something out.
Right.
A few of those moments for sure.
Bob, there's this story. I'm not going to make you tell it because I'm sure you've told us so many times about how you guys met Bob Odenkirk and kind of had, would you call it your break? I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
It was your break.
It was our big break, I would
Just
call it.
to paraphrase, you and Eric, when in college, searched for Bob Odenkirk's address, sent him a VHS with some of your sketches, or was it Tom Goes to the Mayor on the VHS?
Yes, well, the first little short film, Tom Goes to the Mayor.
Okay,
that we made.
and an invoice.
And an invoice.
For the DVD.
For the DVD. It changed from a VHS to a DVD in this world that you're creating.
VHS.
As we shipped it out.
But Bob loved it. He called you guys up, and since then he kind of mentored you and got your foot in the door.
Yes.
So I'm curious, now that story is somewhat famous, I would say.
Apocryphal, is that the word?
Dan, can we get a...
Let's go with yes.
We're good.
Stuff of legend.
Do you guys get a bunch of shit in the mail?
We get a bunch of Better Call Saul swag.
But are there people who hear that story and they're like, you know what?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it is encouraged. And certainly through social media, Twitter and Facebook, there's more. It's very easy to get in touch with me.
That's
very easy to get in touch with me.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, there's something that we see and we also are in this business of making stuff. Our production company makes stuff, so we are actually kind of on the talent scout.
Have you ever found talent in a similar way that Bob found you guys?
Well, Vic Berger is a big one,
right?
And
love Vic.
Yeah.
And I was telling you earlier the story with him where he was making fan videos on cinema and sending them in, and they're like these music videos he's made that are really good songs and funny videos, just using our footage from the show. And we were just amused by that, and we contacted him and had him make some other stuff, and that set him on a course. I think gave him a little confidence. It's like all you need is that one little one little boost.
No, it's so true. And now, I mean, today, as you were touching on, it's like so easy to kind of get a hold of people now.
Yeah,
it's interesting that if you're like determined and you make something good, you can get someone to see it.
You can, but making something good is, I think, the hard part.
That's the barrier.
Most people are reductive of other people's work, or they're not ready yet, or they don't have the resources. Right. They're not good enough, or they, I don't know. It's just, I think it's good. I think that there's still a small, it's not a ton of overly incredibly talented new voices.
Sure.
It's still like going to be a small one kid out of 100 that's got like this new look at something. But there's plenty of funny people. There's plenty of
definitely
good filmmakers and stuff.
Speaking of Bob, he's gone on to like this incredible success. Has it been crazy to watch? Because transformation from like comedian to dramatic actor has been really something.
Yeah, I mean, when he was in a transition period, I think, in his life when we met him, because he had come out of doing a couple of pilots that didn't go. He was directing a couple movies, and I think he was not really sure what he was going to be doing for and he was helping us, and he was helping a bunch of other people get started in the business, and yeah. So I think he was I don't know. I mean, he's got a good attitude about it. I know that. I know he's like just happy to have cool work. You know, he gets to do cool work. He's incredible.
I feel like people don't even remember that he was a comedian at this point because he's so the Breaking Bad guy now.
Yeah.
And Saul.
Right.
But
he's
God
had
bless.
so many lives because
Yeah.
I was listening to Dana Carvey was on Howard Stern. It was a replay, but I was listening to it, and he was talking about Odenkirk writing these iconic Saturday Night Live sketches back in the Dana Carvey years because he was.
I didn't even know he was involved in that.
Odenkirk and Smigel and Conan O'Brien were all writing like the Saturday Night Live sketch that got me into comedy. He was there, so like he's had these incredible, you know, several lives in this business.
Is that something that kind of appeals to you? Because I know. You just got cast in the new Jordan Peele movie, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Super excited about you. Is that something that you can see yourself kind of doing, is making a switch in a way to a dramatic actor? Which, by the way, I will say I think you're an awesome actor.
Thank
I love
you.
everything you've done.
Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky to dip into that world now. I weirdly look at my IMDb page and I notice this thing where I've been in 2 movies a year for the past several years, and that's like a neat kind of thing to try to keep doing. You know, like if I keep doing this, I'm gonna start racking them up. You know, like start making movies.
Right.
So this is the first big movie where like you can tell your aunt. Although you know, Bridesmaids was a big movie that I'm in for a minute.
Yeah, but are you not allowed to talk about the movie?
I shouldn't talk too much about it because we're shooting right now. We're actually shooting right now.
How about can I ask you this? This is part of the movie.
Yeah.
Shit. I didn't sign it.
It's going to be big.
This is my big break.
It is the first one where like they announce you. There's like
I saw the poster. There's
a thing where it's like, you know, and everyone's excited that what's his next movie going to be, and like, so that whole thing is neat. But
it's a great project to be involved in.
Exactly.
Coming off of Get Out.
Yeah, Get Out was amazing.
But then I'm in the middle of it, and it's so great because it's just like anything else I do. Really, it's you know, the production people are great. The cast members everyone's nice. Everyone's like warm and collaborative, and you know, Jordan's interested in what I think, and
cool.
And you just feel like welcome, and that's relaxing, and that's kind of like a nice environment.
Well, I am super excited to see what comes of that.
Yeah, me too.
Did you audition for that role? How'd you get the role?
No, I didn't.
That's what I'm curious.
I had a friend write me, and like he was like, "How the fuck are you? What are you doing?" Like,
yeah,
because he's also an actor, and he's like, "What are you? I didn't even know about this part. Like, am I?" And I'm like, "No, I just got asked to do it because."
Jordan was interested in you playing this role.
He kind of had me in mind when he was writing it.
And that's got to feel good.
Well, yeah, it does.
That's pretty amazing.
But, you know, I know him a little bit from the world of comedy and stuff. So I'm not, and he was such a big fan of the movie The Comedy, that it was one of those movies that when it came out, again, was a thing that half the people hated, and you know, if you look at the reviews of that movie, it's like they're angry reviews.
That's right.
And Rick and I felt just like beaten up by the whole thing, and like very proud of it, but also like furious that these people weren't getting what Rick was trying to do and all this stuff. But what happens is like that movie, people like your age and younger fucking like love that movie, and it meant a lot to them. And somebody like Jordan is like, that's one of my favorite movies maybe not it's his favorite movie, but he thinks of me through that movie, and so I'm very grateful for that. You know,
that's awesome.
Are you tired of being like loved and hated? That's kind of been like the defining characteristic of like your career, right?
I mean, it's always I've always said for years that like if you're not pissing somebody off, you're probably not doing something interesting.
Do you have to piss someone off all the time?
I don't try to.
Yeah. No, I know you don't, but like it's got to be.
Have in the past, probably.
Sure, yeah. But like, I mean, as a result of your work, of people being like so frustrated they don't understand it, it's like, do you ever fantasize about making? Would you like to be just beloved? Everybody loved this.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but that's just not in my cards.
But does that really happen?
I don't know. Well,
I mean,
I don't know.
I would tell you, like, it never happened up until, the first from Tom Goes to the Mayor when that came out. Eric and I were very excited. We made our TV show. We thought it was pretty good. And we went on the message boards, and it was just like, fuck you.
Oh,
really?
These guys have AIDS. These guys are F words.
What was this, Adult Swim forum? Where'd you read
like
that?
the message. Yeah.
I didn't know they were such a tough crowd.
Oh, my God. It was just like a flood. It was like one after the other. And that was when we learned that this is a cruel business we're in.
I mean, like,
and then, but our macho side was like, good, fuck them, fuck that. Yeah, we're pissing you off, and then we kind of embraced that a little bit, but it still hurts.
It
definitely hurts.
It does,
because you just want to be like, we made this to make you laugh, and to make us laugh.
Also, if you don't like it, I mean, just
who cares?
Just don't be mean.
Why do you care about? I mean, there's plenty of things I don't like. That doesn't make me laugh.
It makes you like rage.
It doesn't make me go on a message board and say like, I hate the King of Queens,
right.
or whatever.
Are you at the point, or do you, like, I'm just wondering, like, do you feel like those kind of comments don't get to you anymore, or when you get into stuff with people?
No, because it's now become. And that's why I try to get off the social media. I was telling you, I'm taking Twitter breaks.
Little
and
detox.
Detox.
Which I've done personally.
Yeah. I do take it personally. I've been honest about that. I do take it personally. And then there's a cycle now of people who are like, I used to be your biggest fan. And now you suck. And that's like,
oh my God.
I don't know if that's worse or is.
Well, how does that feel? I mean, like, genuinely, how do you feel when people tell you that?
It depends. Like, if it's something that I know is a little risky that I'm doing, that's a little personal or something, especially my music.
Right.
I put out my music,
very political,
and I'm very
music,
and
which obviously has a tendency to
and then it attracts people that get upset about it.
Yeah.
But it's all personal taste, and I know the music I make is not it's not popular music, anyways. It's like a kind of music I love, but it's not. So if people are like, this sucks, then I get it, but I also you never want to hear. You don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Rather not hear it. Yeah. And the easiest thing to do is just to not
read it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I've done. I've been very public about how it wasn't even like that I wanted to. I needed to stop engaging and reading in comments. And it's funny to say, but I've seen it's been a process for me to unstick myself because I've been trying to not do it for like a year. I'd say in the past couple of months I've been successfully divorced, like completely. But like in between that process, I would read comments of like, and this should just really upset me. Like, what do you guys think about H3 not reading comments anymore? It's like, well, it's not doing him any good, and it's like, damn. I don't know.
Well, it's funny because you can read probably 20 positive things that don't matter for some reason.
Why is that? I noticed that too, and it really disturbs me.
Yeah, I don't know.
20 people are like, you changed my life. I was going to kill myself.
I've gotten that.
It's like,
it does nothing.
See ya, idiot.
Nothing. But I do
wait,
like
what
the
this guy
funniest. I do have the funniest, often the funniest fans, like especially the On Cinema crowd. I love you. They're fucking hilarious, and they contribute to sort of the jokes and the story in a way that's like I would want to hang out with a lot of those people. So I don't want to. It would be too bad to totally.
I know.
Go Michael Jackson and lock myself up. And
that's how I've been feeling. Because I also tried to completely not read anything, and I started to feel really like disconnected from everything, which also didn't feel right.
But there are human beings that you can meet or be around. I mean, I try to. Oh, I'm not on the internet. Oh, I'm actually playing with my daughter more somehow. Like, oh, that worked out nicely.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Well, I have the guys filter some comments to me, but I just feel like
it's not a bad idea. Is you get like a digest of
I get
only the good stuff.
And it's like somebody says like, I hope you die of AIDS. I think you have AIDS and you're an awful person. And Dan's like, this guy didn't like the video.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
Right.
You know, you sweeten
and they're
it a
also
little bit.
13 years old. And when I was
Exactly.
13 years old, not all of them, but I know I used to do terrible. And this was when the internet was just beginning.
AOL chat room.
Yeah, I'll tell you the worst thing I ever did.
Tell me.
I went into this soap opera chat room. Okay, like back in those days, you'd have like chat rooms, but with topics in AOL. And I created a persona that was like a mom, and I started typing like my baby's choking. My baby's choking. And they were like, get help, call the ambulance. I'm like, what do I do? She's turning blue.
Oh my God.
Like, and the joke to us was like, why would I be typing this?
That is pretty funny.
You know?
That's the worst thing you've done, huh?
I mean,
you're a sweet guy.
Probably more that
you're
I can't,
sweet
blocked
guy.
out. But,
yeah. That is
a lot
funny.
of pranks.
But I think you do strike on a good point. Is that like sometimes I'll read them, I'll brush over 20 idiots that like me, and I'll be like, oh, that guy dislikes me. But the thing you don't know about that guy, because it's the fucking internet, and he could be a 10-year-old.
Could be a 10-year-old, or it could be the same guy 10 times with 10 different accounts.
Right.
Anyways, let's stop talking about this because it's I can't imagine.
Well,
it's relatable to most people.
I think. Listen,
because
you want to go back to talking about coffee?
No, I'm just saying, like, if you're a guy out there with 10 followers who wants to make stuff, he's like, I'd be so happy to have people hate my work if they would actually see it.
Yeah, well, the grass is always greener. And anyway, we are at a perfect time for a break, but we've got a ton of more questions coming up. Guys, do not go away. We will be right back after this short commercial break. Thank you to Hinge for sponsoring this episode. Hinge is a dating app that promotes healthy relationships of all kinds. It's a dating app for people looking for a real relationship with a partner. Now, I'm a married man, so I was browsing Hinge with Dan, and I gotta say, compared to what I've seen of other dating apps, it's better, okay? Just straight up. There's more information, it's less superficial, and there's a perfect balance between seeing, okay, look, I admit you gotta be attracted to the person. That's important. But you want to know a little bit more about, are they cute? What are they into? What kind of hobbies do they have? All this stuff is perfectly presented there before you give them that proverbial swipe into oblivion, okay? Now, why should you believe me that Hinge is better and offers healthy relationships? How about this fact? 80% of Hinge dates are rated 4 or 5 stars by real users. That means when people go on Hinge dates, real love, real connections, guys. Go download it at hinge.co. Download Hinge in the App Store, guys. It's all about wholesomeness. Stay hinged. Find love, find meaning. It's free for Christ's sake, so just get on there, give it a shot. You Fupa Troopers out there, I want you to be happy, okay? And that's why I want you to use hinge.co. Thank you to Hinge. Do you hear the sound? That's the clock. It's ticking for the hairs on your head. You bald SOB. Right. 66% of men lose their hair by age 35. My question to you, what are you going to do about it? Okay? Here's the thing. It's easier to keep the hair you have than to replace it once you've already lost. TikTok. The sweat dripping down your forehead yet, you bald son of a gun. It's that hairline slowly starting to move backwards. Any bald spots? They're making me read this. This sounds really mean. I'm going with it. But it's true, guys, because I will tell you, from a year from now, is it going to be business as usual up there, or are you going to be a bald fucking George Costanza ass looking motherfucker? Okay.
I love George.
I love George, but he's insecure. He's bald, and okay, that's not the point. Do you want a bald spot, or do you want to do something about it? You can stop the ticking, thank you. Do you want your hairline to recede, or do you want to do something about it first? Why do you guys turn to weird solutions or do nothing when they could turn to medicine and science? Introducing 4hims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness for men. Hey, men, high five. Take care of your bodies, boys. Here's the deal. Thanks to science, baldnesses can be optional. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat your hair loss. We got well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions that help you keep the hair on your head. Okay? These are prescription solutions backed by science. There's no waiting room, no awkward in-person doctor visits. You're going to save hours by going to 4hims.com. It's so freaking easy. Answer a few quick questions. Doctors will review and prescribe you. Products are shipped directly to your door. Here's the call to action, so listen the F up. Order now. My listeners get a trial for free of Hims, not for free, for $5. Scratch that and put $5 instead. Today, right now, while supplies last. That's 4hims.com/H3. You get a month trial for just $5. This would have cost $100 if you went to the doctor or pharmacy, and it'd be humiliating. Now, you do it online, no problem, no trouble, baby. Go to 4hims.com/H3. That's FORHIMS.com/H3. 4hims.com/H3. We're back with the great Tim Heidecker.
Looked at his notes.
This is Tim Heidecker. And what I want to say is go on over to timheidecker.com/events.
You're going to crash the site.
Don't blow it up, guys. Get some tickets. Tim Heidecker and Greg Turkington are
on Cinema Live experience.
Live.
It's
an experience.
It really is. Basically an off-Broadway show.
Right. So head on over. We were just talking about On Cinema.
Yes.
Which is it's been such a wild ride, hasn't it?
Yeah.
My question with On Cinema now, for you guys that don't know, started as a movie review.
It still is, essentially.
Right, but it was this two couple guys reviewing films, but there's been a lot of twists, a lot of turns, a couple of tribulations. Was it always your intention from the beginning that it would have this kind of story arc to it?
No.
Or did that kind of just as it went?
No, the story there is Greg and I were both on the movie The Comedy that we talked about earlier. And as you do with movies, you have a lot of downtime. And there was this feeling at that summer of there being kind of a overabundance of podcasts of comedians. Just the Marc Maron thing had been kind of blowing up, and there was just this, like, to Greg and I at least, it felt like there was too many voices piping in about garbage, you know. And so we had just idly we had this idea of doing this movie review thing, and we did it on my phone. So like the first 5 episodes of the podcast are these 3-minute, like, let's talk about Ghostbusters, and then like not really knowing much about Ghostbusters, and it was just kind of. But we started doing longer versions of that, and in that setting, when we were back in LA in my studio, we developed kind of a couple of personas that started developing there. And then, I think we realized that these guys had, that we could tell stories through these episodes that could be talked about. You didn't have to actually see happen. You know, you could just say what we did off camera, be talking about them. And you could almost create this drama that you didn't have to actually shoot or actually produce. It became like a radio play, and it just kind of naturally happened, just to probably fill, because we didn't want to just make it this one joke of guys who probably haven't seen the movies giving good reviews. So it became kind of. After a couple seasons, I think we saw what the potential of these two characters, and it could go anywhere. And it's been I think the most fun, creatively stimulating project for me.
Really?
Ever?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just because it's such a fun character to be, and it's and Greg really is, I think, the funniest person in the world. Really?
He's a great foil. I mean, you guys have good chemistry.
So, and it exists in this form that, like, it can exist on Twitter, it can exist in the show itself. It can be this soap opera. It's like we've gotten to make a soap opera that can go forever. And
that's true. That is true.
And that is very liberating, and characters can die and come back. And
that's true. I see that as well. the culmination, of course, of the recent arc being the trial for murder for those 20 vanquished poor souls.
Yeah.
That was incredible. That
it really was.
I mean, I've never seen anything. I've genuinely never seen anything like that.
I know, and I hate like being like so kind of boastful of my own stuff.
Sure.
But somebody has to.
I know.
But again, it goes back to the thing I was saying earlier with Awesome Show. It's this collaborative thing that I'm so proud of. Eric Notornicola, who directs it and writes with us, and Greg and our producer Andrew, and these people that make that possible.
Right.
So I feel like it's my job to come out and help.
You gotta.
But it does feel like we put that out. We made that, and I've heard it from people like you, and we feel it. We're like, this is what. There's nothing else like this.
Yeah.
And
just the concept alone of seeing you sitting in a courtroom, and playing it like straight,
really straight.
It's like, what the hell?
People like Odenkirk, who is always sort of checking in with me, and I'm checking in with him about stuff. You know, he wrote me just being like, "This is like the best thing I've seen you do in a long time." That's feels exciting to me because I'm like, yes, I feel that way too.
Right.
But it's also a thing where it's like it doesn't get treated like anything else either, because it's not. You know, I don't care about awards or anything, but like it isn't a TV show. It's this thing that people end up watching on YouTube as it's 5 hours, folks. So it's like it's a thing that you have to commit to.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We're extremely proud of it.
Good.
And want to do more things like that.
Yeah.
Because we're like, oh, this is a fun. Other people have said like, what a great environment to do comedy in. Just this a trial where. You know, you just set up, and it was so fun to make because we just did it in a courtroom that was unused. It was like, you know, a real courtroom that had been, I guess, abandoned or something. Oh. But we just set, you know, like this here, we set up at 5 cameras, and then just did this play every day for like 3 days.
How much do you guys plan it out?
It was planned out. Yeah, it was pretty planned out, but not. I would say not written, not dialogue written.
You got planned.
Yeah, because we had cast people that knew, not to give too much away, but we cast people that knew how to behave in that environment and let them. And by the end of the couple of days, I mean, everybody was like, "This is so fun because we're playing. It's playing. You're playing." Yeah. And if there was an outtakes version of that, you would see. Lots of like crying, laughing, lots of joy. Yeah, lots of like freedom.
Do you think about like how do we like this is so good and I'm so proud of it. How do we get more people to watch this?
Yeah, I mean it's always, especially with On Cinema, it's been this sort of frustrating. It's not for everyone, but the people that love it really care about it and support it in different ways and feel like it's the greatest thing. So I'm happy for that. I wish it was, you know, millions of viewers, but it's I understand that it's a contentious, dry, watching bad people, watching kind of negative. It's not like it's a kind of comedy that's like that kind of bilist kind of like not gross, but just kind of like creates uncomfortable experiences.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's been our whole career in various forms. So I understand that some people maybe have enough shit going on in their real life that they don't have the luxury of just like relaxing to that kind of humor.
Why is it that you think that you guys have always had that fascination with like, and you see it in the other shows that you guys produce as well, that absolutely makes is a real focus on like discomfort, cringe, for lack of a better word. You know,
I'll take it. Yeah.
What is that? What's going on there?
I mean, I don't know. It comes probably from the kind of comedy we liked. Some of it, like, you know, Albert Brooks. Like Albert Brooks's Lost in America movie, which I think is maybe my favorite comedy film. Is every scene is the kind of scene that makes your stomach kind of hurt. It tenses you up. It's like, oh no, don't go there. Don't say that. So some of that. There's some of that. Most of it's probably, though, just in Awesome Show, at least, like creating absurd situations that go dark for very not very logical reasons or realistic reasons. But yeah, I don't know. There's something. I think it's also like a fundamental comedy construct of failing is funny, of failure. Like slapstick comedy is violence, and somebody slipping on a banana peel or falling down stairs is essentially them failing somehow. Sure. And so we're doing it on more of like a emotional level sometimes.
Right. Huh. It's just, I gotcha. It's kind of
nothing's funny about like people things going well.
Yeah.
I don't think that.
I'd like to see an attempt at that, but I feel it.
Yeah, I mean there's kind of comedy that's like people being clever and smart and witty and quick, and that's a different kind of comedy. Right. I'm not that. I'm
a little
not,
Big Bang-ish.
Yeah.
A little bit Bang-ish.
Quippy. Yeah. And cute.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you about Absolutely, because I'm a huge fan of everything you guys produce. I mean, predominantly, you guys have two huge shows right now that I think a lot of people are talking about, which is the Eric Andre Show and Nathan For You. So I want to ask you questions about those shows, but how are you involved, like personally, in the planning and conception of these shows?
Not very much at all.
Really?
We're pretty removed. Our producing partner, Dave Kneebone, we started. He's a little more involved than we are, but we essentially started the company in the second season of Tom Goes to the Mayor because we had terrible experiences with another production company,
right?
And really saw that there wasn't much to it. You just needed to kind of like hire a manager, and get somebody to manage that side of the books. So we started that just to produce our own stuff, and then after Awesome Show wrapped, Eric and I needed to take some time because we wanted to make a movie, and we needed to kind of write the movie and think about it and develop it. And another show came in that was looking for a producer, and that was the John Benjamin Has a Van show. And that from our perspective, it was we could keep all of our talented people working while we went off and did something that didn't require their services for a few months. So it kind of created a gap, and then it just became, holistically out of that. Like I know Nathan actually was on the John Benjamin show, and so he got to know Dave, our producer, and he pitched his show to us, and he said, let's try it, let's go around. So it's maybe a letdown, but what we offer with the company is the opportunity that we had, which is sort of creative freedom and nobody butting in with their ideas and notes.
It does seem like everything that you guys produce does have a quality to it.
Yes, I mean it's a lot of the similar. It's a lot of the same editors.
Good, you got a group of talented people that work on it.
Yeah, and a lot of them started with Awesome Show and came out of. Okay. I mean, most of the people that are. Editing and directing have come out of most of the people that have edited and directed the shows that you probably like had worked on Awesome Show basically, or Check It Out, or something like that. I mean, it's funny, you look at, we didn't produce the new Sacha Baron Cohen show, but if you look at the credits of that, there's like four guys.
Nathan,
but Eric Natornicola, who directs all of On Cinema, and Decker, and also worked on Nathan.
These are your employees?
They have been at points, yeah. They would be freelancers mostly.
Okay.
But it's like a small group of guys, mostly guys, editors and producers and writers.
But you make like an editorial decision, like on a pitch. Like if Nathan's like, "Hey, I've got this concept."
I don't.
You don't?
No, I have nothing to do with it.
How do you decide what show? How does Absolutely decide what it wants to produce?
Oh, we don't decide. I mean, we don't have that luxury. We have people. I mean, people. Now we do a little bit, but we take people come in, pitch us ideas.
Yeah.
We sometimes have. We're developed. There's certain things that are like, Nathan's show is really what Nathan wants to do, and it's his vision.
And you already knew him,
and we know him, and then you involve a network like Comedy Central, who has their say.
Sure.
So the last thing they want is us. I mean, the conversations I've had with Nathan about his show have been like, some stuff having to do with like promotion and marketing, where he wanted my advice on that side of it, sort of like how to handle getting whatever, what the network wants me to do this. What do you think? And then watching some rough cuts, giving maybe a couple of thoughts that certainly aren't required. Yeah, I mean, so no, we're just we're glad to have our names attached, but and we just create an environment. I think our office creates just like a good environment for those kind of people to feel creative.
Yeah.
I wonder if you're not giving yourself enough credit in this situation.
I swear to God, I have nothing to do with that show.
Let me ask you this then, in that case. Well, at any rate, love them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And keep doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah, keep out of it. That's all.
What's the story behind this? I've always wondered what the hell's going on.
Well, that's my dad. You don't know that?
I see the resemblance.
How do you not know that?
I don't know. Is that common knowledge?
It's sort of common knowledge.
Let me play it for the people.
Absolutely.
Probably all seen this at that.
Yeah. Oh, there's all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, let's close that. So that's your dad?
Yep, that's from some home movies from that day, which was 1989 or whatever. It was us in Florida, and I was going around with the video camera asking my family to describe this vacation in 3 words. That was my question. Which my dad said hi or something, and said absolutely. And then when Eric and I were just starting making videos, I had recently gotten all these videotapes transferred or something, and we were looking through them. I was looking through them, and there are a few moments where I was like, "This is great gold," And one of them was that. One was my poor sister at a recital singing some song from Fiddler on the Roof, and her like totally fucking up the second verse, and we didn't use that for anything. But yeah, that's it. And then that just became pretty early on our slate, and it has not changed.
It's so funny.
My dad gets a little.
Yeah,
he likes it. Yeah, he digs it. I think he
Mm.
gets a little residual check.
Does he get a little?
A little, but I think it might be from. There was a sketch we did, an awesome show. It was my funeral, and it was when I was dead, and I had this great bloated face, and we had my dad and mom make a video. Eulogy for me. That's really funny.
Oh, that was your actual parents in the show.
Yeah.
He's still getting a little.
I think he gets a couple cents out of that. Yeah.
Your dad's finally all that hard
really
work's paying
funny
off.
to me because he did this the most sort of insincere, like, oh well, we wish you the best and take care and you'll be missed, and really insincere.
It's so funny. Tell me, how is your relationship with your dad? You got a lot of dad jokes.
Oh,
a lot of dad geared jokes in your content, which I'm a big fan of. Tell me about that dad. Mm-hmm. Want to meet that dad?
Yeah, it was mutual with Eric and I. We both had this sort of, we love our dads. I think we have a good relationship with our dads. I have a better relationship with his dad. No. But I think we've just always, it's been a funny... It's kind of weird because it's now kind of like a common understanding, a comedy concept of dad jokes, or you see that like once something gets into like the world of like Levi's jeans or commercial, stuff. It's like it's fully matured into its own. But for us, it was just something awkward about the relationship an adult man has with his dad. It's like it can be awkward. It can be just like, well, now we're just two adult men who have different tastes, and I don't know. And it's just something, as me now being a dad, I get it too. It's like you feel a little unnecessary.
Interesting.
A little.
Well, how old are your kids? You can't be
my kids
that
are
unnecessary.
23 and no.
Holy shit! No, there you.
She just turned. My daughter Amelia just turned 5 yesterday, and
happy birthday!
Happy little birthday!
Just kidding. And then I have a son who's about to turn 2 in October.
What a wonderful. I mean, how was fatherhood?
It's great.
Changed your game. Has it changed your sense of comedy of what's funny and kind of giving you a new?
Not really.
Same old. Guy.
I know. When Amelia was born, if you look at the third season of Check It Out, there's a diaper joke in there. That's, I think, one of the funniest things to ever exist. But it's right out of the experience of having diapers in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We got that one joke.
It's brutal changing an adult man's diaper and getting pissed on.
I want to go back. I got this video, the Cat Film Festival. I want to ask you some questions about it. So this was, if I can pop this up.
Oh my God!
Look at this little
like a
little
monk.
twink.
I look like a monk.
A little monk.
Yeah.
I look at pictures of myself, man.
I obviously cut my own hair or something. Some deviant.
The brow seems very heavy and
it was well lit. It's clearly well lit.
Was this the first? What's the history on this video? Because I'm not quite sure. It was the final project that you and Eric made,
it was not. We had been out of college by this point.
Oh,
I was living in New York with my girlfriend. That was our bedroom. And Eric would come up from Philly, and I would go back to Philly, and we'd make stuff, sort of recreationally, for fun. Back in the days when it was fun to make stuff, no one was paying attention. There was no chat rooms. There was no message boards. But we did, I think, have this idea to actually do this Cat Film Festival. We were coming out of like the Philadelphia art world a little bit, like out of college. There was a lot of like a lot of festivals and projects and sort of like arts events. I think we were kind of into, but also kind of aware of it being silly and kind of pretentious. So I think there was this original idea to actually do a Cat Film Festival.
Got it.
Which happened years ago. I mean, it really did happen.
Come to fruition.
Not that we had anything to do with it.
Well, I'll play this if you don't mind.
Okay.
Just a minute of it for those who have not seen it.
Professors?
This is what, 2001 or something like that. Or no, 2000.
Of your film school program?
We put it up later.
Hello, this is Tim Heidecker.
What's interesting to me is like
welcome
this Tim and Eric style. You guys already really have locked down.
It was right there at the very beginning.
We're putting this is the proposal for the Cat Film
Was there something
Festival.
when you see like these old videos like this? Is there kind of a golden days kind of vibe? Do you ever feel like that?
No, I'm
the
pretty
good old days?
unsentimental. I don't have any sentiment in my heart.
That's good for you.
No, it's cool. It's I have fondness for it.
Film festival.
Yeah. You get
And this was all Eric. Like, look at me. I really did have that picture of me on the wall with my girlfriend on the other side, and it was like ironic. You know, it was like silly. But Eric always tells the story that Zamboni or that picture of the girl, the ice skating. He says that was in there because Eric would make like wedding videos and stuff, and like film people's recitals for money. And that shot was in. It was a mistake when he.
That was a genuine mistake.
Really?
He says it was a mistake, and that I saw that and said, "Don't." That's the way.
That's so
He claims that's the case now. I don't know about that. He likes to shower me with.
Well, I don't know why, but I thought for sure that was a school project, so that kind of messes up my whole line of questioning here.
We did another one,
maybe,
but we did one that was about lobsters and film and VHS
I think that's
being better.
What it is.
But go ahead. I mean, it's probably applicable.
It's not really.
Let me hear it.
Not really. All right. Well, we've got. Let's see. What's the story behind this video? Check off that one.
Yeah.
What kind of grades did you get? Well,
A's.
A's,
sure.
Always. Did your peers enjoy it? Did they understand it?
Well, we did make a video. You can look it up. It's called Cat Film Festival. No, it's called Lobsters and Film would probably get you there. But
have we not seen that?
I think
that one we made for our senior project. It was like mid-semester senior project.
Similar in spirit.
Yeah, it was a little more rough. It was a little rougher, not quite there yet. But that one angered our fellow classmates.
Really? In what fashion?
Well, we were kind of dicks about it. We were given a assignment to to make. So we had a full year of a film class that the culmination was making a film, making a short film. Now they needed a way to grade us halfway through for that first semester or whatever. So they gave this assignment that we had to do a presentation for the class about some aspect of filmmaking, art direction or editing or cinematography. And Eric and I were just so into the idea of making this film, and we thought, well, this is what we're here for, is to do this film. By the way, my film's awful. My real film is awful. Very serious. I'd be so embarrassed to show.
When you first joined film school, you were trying to be a serious filmmaker.
Yeah, there was this period of like comedy wasn't a real thing. It wasn't.
Seemed unattainable.
Yeah, and it wasn't something you should.
Were you always a funny guy? You're like, hey, I'm a funny guy.
Always a funny guy.
Hilarious guy.
Very funny.
Some would say.
Yes.
But I'm going to make some serious flicks.
But I'll be like Woody Allen in the mid-'70s. You know, I'll be September Woody Allen.
Right.
Interiors
exactly.
Woody Allen.
Sure.
I loved Woody Allen. Yeah. And that's why I think I wanted to go in that sort of direction of making my own stuff and being funny in that.
Was there a point during college where you're like, this is kind of all these people and the people I'm around, isn't connecting with me? Yeah,
a little bit. I mean, at Temple University, they were very socially they're interested in sort of political, social justice-y kind of storytelling, filmmaking. And comedy was not considered something that you could do that with.
Interesting.
It was really stupid. You certainly
it's almost like
you do that more than anything.
Yeah.
This is the perfect breeding ground for your style.
Yeah. So, and they were also like technically not capable of they didn't. We hadn't entered into like the Final Cut Pro era of where everyone could just load up a bunch of footage. We still were doing like a weird video toaster / cutting film. So we were in a weird place where we couldn't really make anything that great, you know.
So how did you guys pass? You got good grades?
So well, the finish that story was in the middle of the semester. Instead of doing a presentation on the art direction in front of the students, we made this absurd film that was me. With my presentation was that there are lobsters in film, and then I can show you examples.
It sounds almost like a conspiracy theory.
It's just like a meaningless waste of time. And interviewed some professors about it, and then Eric's was like that VHS is better than film.
Right.
And we just made these stupid you could look it up, and then what we thought was really clever was we shot the presentation in the same lecture hall as where everyone else was giving the thing, so that when we played it in the room, we were in the room. It was playing. We were in the room that it was being played in.
Yeah.
So, and then it had this musical interlude of us like dancing, and it was just like very primordial.
So people were like, "Fuck!" I mean,
but they were pissed off.
Guys.
We got an A because the professor thought it was funny.
Oh well, there you go.
But you banged it out. The students felt like they were pissed that we got away with really not doing the assignment. You know,
they're just angry because they didn't think about it.
And none of them are doing anything right now.
To them.
You don't hear their names.
Yeah,
in
they're the ones
IMDb.
leaving comments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not
2 films a year.
No, not these.
Fuck off, buddies. Bunch of jokes.
Our beginning of making videos kind of started at my school too. I studied art, and I had a video art class, and I ended up doing like our early videos and show them in class as like my assignment.
Right.
It was also kind of like what you're describing, because in art everyone was also very serious. And
there's
about
high emotion and.
Yeah, I mean, I took like photography classes, and I was never very visually adept, and so you'd take those classes, and my go-to move would be to like make something intentionally bad, just to be like, well, this is my art, you know. But it's also like I really don't know how to do the good stuff.
You're shielding yourself in a way of like criticism.
Yeah.
But it's funnily enough, Hila had these video art classes in college, and I mean, I was just emulating you guys as much as I could, because that's all I knew that was funny. And we just made like the first one we made was this video called Chocolate, where I was like grotesquely naked. I mean, I was wearing underwear and just covering my body in chocolate. I think we must have just horrified everybody.
Well, there's a lot of that out there. There's certainly in college, there's a lot of just like, I'm crazy.
Well, can I tell you my favorite anecdote of Hila's college years? One of her best friends and credit to her for thinking of this idea. Her final video was she put a camera in the toilet and filmed herself taking a poop. And the professor's comment, which sticks with me to this day, is one of the best things I've ever heard. His note to her was simply this: maybe next time less hair.
Oh, that's horrifying.
So that was what we were up against. So by contrast, I think that it probably wasn't that disgusting.
Right. I would love to never see that.
Yeah. Let me ask you: did you ever have any directorial disputes during the making of Pigman with Tommy Wiseau?
Yeah. That was. I don't know how much to tell you about that, but.
Well, why do you say that? Are there some things that you don't like to talk about it? Why is that?
No, I think there's a little. It's nice to have a little mystery, but I think we brought him in and made him the director of that process. Yeah, and then we because we really wanted to be around him to watch how he worked. That's really why we brought him in, and just to observe that,
Well, you guys were kind of ahead of the game in the Tommy Wiseau because now he's kind of a superstar.
He was last year. Now
true.
it's I don't know. It's probably
back to
that's probably
normal.
it, right? I mean, that's not gonna.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
We were trying to get him on the pod, and he blew us off twice.
Really?
He lost our number.
Oh well,
he was a big.
It's not the most satisfying experience.
Yeah, I suspected. I suspected that it wouldn't go how I wanted to go.
No, I mean, there was definitely the Wiseau room vibe in L.A., when we got here back in 2003. So I don't feel like we were in that maybe second wave of people that were... Because when we went to the screenings, it was sold out. All the way back then. So, yeah, it was fun. And then I remember going, the last time I went, which is also several years ago, it took a mean turn. Maybe it was just the night I was there, but it just felt like people were laughing at that woman who was like, kind of implying that she had gotten fat, and it was just it had this kind of nastiness to it in the audience, this kind of mob mentality that kind of was like, I don't know if I like this.
What it's all about?
Yeah, I don't know about this.
But
it might have just been the night.
Yeah, tough audience,
tough crowd.
But did you guys ever in the editing bay, I guess you don't want to talk about
that. No,
that.
go ahead. About him?
Yeah, I mean, did he ever give his opinion when you guys putting it together? Like, how did he like the piece after it came out?
I don't know. I didn't talk to him about it. God bless his soul. I didn't talk to him about it.
Yeah, he's really one of a kind.
Yeah, he is. We've met with him several times after working with him about doing something together, and it would always get weird. And, he did this thing, The Neighbors. Did you ever see The Neighbors?
Yeah.
That was,
we have.
Off the wall.
Yeah. And we were like, well, we'd love to help you produce that. And he'd be like, great, maybe you can get me, the right editors and the right people. Like, he wanted to do it for like...
That's
I understand
really not a
that.
bad idea.
But it is a bad idea because what made that so special was we're like, we will literally just find you the money and then you make it, and whatever it is, you give it to us and we will hand it to the network. Like, we don't want to have any, we want to like disturbing a tribe in the Amazon. Like, I don't want to have any influence. I don't want to try to like replicate what you do, but I also don't want to assist you. To make it better. But I also understand his desire to like, why can't we just have the best people working on this? But then it just becomes like anything else, So
I'm intrigued.
So it's just like, it became too complicated.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
That's kind of his style. But like working with people like Tommy is kind of like the bread and butter of what you guys did on Awesome Show.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever, I've heard this wild story. Tell me if this is something you guys did. You guys used to put people through uncomfortable situations to get a good performance. For example, is it true that you would put people on cranes up in the sky in front of a green screen to get a ride, to get wild?
Well, no, it would be actually opposite. I was up in the crane with the actor on green, and there's just a couple people we do that with, which is to create the Doug Prishpreed, who's one of the announcers on Check It Out. He's he's like the sports guy, and he's a real straight guy. He's a real like serious kind of normal guy. But when we just have this system where when we're shooting him, we try to create just like distraction so that we can get a moment of him being like, what was that? Like, what was that? And those get harder and harder to do the more. So they get more elaborate. So they culminated in me with one of those cranes, one of those like, where you change the light bulbs up there, just being like operating one of those goes like,
Yeah.
And we just want to create this chaos and uncomfortable environment that gives just that little
touch
spark in their eye of like, something's going to fall on me, just one, that moment.
Yeah.
And we've done that. We probably took it too far in a few times.
When have you taken it too far? I'm very intrigued by that.
We would just like, there's certain people where we would just, we'd maybe kind of gotten sick of them and gotten tired of, they had done something a little bit maybe to deserve it. But we would just like amuse ourselves by like sending in appetizers while we were shooting, and yelling at the crew like, "Get out of here!" And they're like, "But he said he was like creating these little plays that really were just for us and the crew."
Pleasure.
But nothing ever that we felt like bad about. It would always end. It always ended them feeling good and like wanting to work with us again.
Well, that's the ticket. I mean, you walk a thin line because the people that act frequently, I don't know if they know whether or not they're in on the joke or not, but I think the real kicker, and we have kind of the same effect. We work with people like that too, is that they want to come back.
Yeah.
They want to be a part of it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, we've had a few people that weren't happy with the way things went, and we feel bad about that. And but for the most part. There is, first of all, we're never presenting things with false pretenses. We're not saying it's something that it isn't. It's always like, this is a comedy show.
Right.
It's but there's certain tricks that we do to get what you say is a little reality out of the situation.
Sure.
That, I feel is fairly benign, but not the most honorable way to behave, which is fine.
Yeah, it's fine. You can be a little dishonorable sometimes.
Yeah.
How do you find these bizarre people? Is this Craigslist people? Or, I mean, do you have techniques? Where do you find these folks?
Well, we like to say there's a couple services that people sign up for to become actors and then forget that they've did that. It was like 3 years ago.
Really? You go for the old ones.
We go for like the bottom of the pile, like, oh yeah, I remember doing that, but you want me? So some of those people, and then frankly, we built, sometimes there'll be like an extra that we had like working background, and we'll be like, who's that?
Right. There's a special quality.
Bring him up.
Yeah.
There was a guy in Check It Out that we call Brown. His name's Brown. And he was a background guy, and he was just walking behind Brule, and he had a brown sweatshirt on. That's why we call him Brown. And we just saw him. We're like, that guy, have him keep walking behind Brule. Just have him like create a line, and have him look at Brule. And it was one of those things where we're just zooming in, like, oh, that's fucking weird. And they were like, you stick around. We have work for you.
So
you are coming.
You're recognizing some kind of special quality.
Yeah, it's just a look. It's
people.
A weird vibe.
Yeah, weird vibes.
A little on edge. That's usually it. It's not. We get plenty of people send, who are like, their headshots are wearing a bow tie and they've got glasses and they're like, like, I'm the wacky guy, and like. It's a special thing, Usually, it's like a normal person that feels like they don't belong in this world.
Have you ever had a bad reaction with some of these people? Because they're a little wacky. Some of them are seem like a little wackier than others.
Yeah. Well, for sure.
Whacked by a wacky? I don't know what that means.
There's people that you're like,
ooh, I don't want to keep this guy.
I'm gonna not give them my cell phone. We're not gonna hang out after the shoot.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, it's usually pretty good vibes.
I got
everybody.
You've ever heard of this this phenomenon? I always hear this now. It's like you hear people say it's like a Tim and Eric sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you heard of this subreddit? It's called Not Tim and Eric.
Yeah,
what do you think about that? I love that place.
It's cool. Yeah, I don't go there often, but sometimes I see stuff there, and it's like, yeah, that's. I mean, that's where a lot of our stuff comes from. We don't look there, but we understand that's the world that we would look at. And,
I've got one video here
cool.
that is my favorite. That actually was one of our first big videos. Was making an edit of this video. I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen this?
I don't think so.
I think you'll love it. This guy is such a legend.
Only 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so powerful. I'm telling you. This is
cool.
So, well, this guy just cammed it because it's such an old video. But it's just a guy from a documentary. He's an ice cream taste tester by profession.
Oh, okay.
He's got a little gold spoon, and
I think I have seen this.
He's getting you in on his.
What we do is take a small amount right off the top. It doesn't take much. That's the warmest part right here. I'm going to invert the spoon. Cover all 9,000 taste bud.
Doug would just loop that part.
Warm it up. Driving up that top, that cream, pure vanilla, sweeteners. That's a 10.
It's just crazy, isn't it? So actually, you know what I want to do? If I can just indulge myself since I got you here, for Christ's sake. The first big video we made was an edit, kind of a DJ Doug Pound inspired.
Like a little remix?
Yeah.
Actually, while you're doing that, I want to show you a picture I just sent to Vic. That is like a pretty good example of how we work in real time.
12 million views on this sick little baby.
What? Really?
Damn. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Oh.
That was like...
I'm ready. Are you ready?
You want to watch this? I'll look at the picture.
Well, it's very quick, and maybe you could show your crowd. But
yeah, we can show the audience.
I just was watching a little bit of the John McCain funeral the other day, like the procession. And, you know, it was just on the news. And you see this guy off to the side. And it's the kind of thing I just capture and send to some friends.
What the hell is this?
Who is that guy?
Oh, man. Dan, can you see that? Let's find out who this is.
It's probably somebody well known. He's standing right by the car. Look
at this guy.
But
it's great.
Yeah,
something that's a special quality.
It's like the world is full of the Tim and Eric. It's all around us.
But you guys, you named it, right? You like put a name to this strange.
I guess so.
Thing going on.
Definitely.
You know. So here, this was my big break.
Okay, this is 27 seconds.
Yeah, it's quick.
Quicker than the original.
Yeah.
Cover all 9,000 taste bud. Aerate it.
Yep.
Warm it up. Driving up. Get that top note. That cream. Pure vanilla.
Yep.
Sweet. That's a 10.
That's it.
I mean,
that's all you get
for 11. That's 11 million views.
Well, 12 if you want to round to the closest digit there.
Well, good for you.
That was when Ethan was learning how to edit.
That was the first video I edited possibly by myself.
I think it was.
Hey.
Well, good for you. I mean, it's great.
Thank you.
You found something original, and you found the rhythm of that made you laugh, and you.
Thank you.
You show. Now, when we see the original, we almost do that editing in our brain.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Kind of just. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. It was so simple. What's going on? Why is Papa John so funny? Because we've also been.
Papa John's.
I became fascinated by Papa John, and then almost separately, I didn't realize that you guys were doing Papa John gags.
We did it live.
Papa John.
Papa John. I don't remember. It's just so benign and lame and
naming your company Papa.
Yeah,
Papa, kind of funny, just right out the gate.
I can't remember what we started doing live shows. Sort of, we didn't naturally come out of doing live. Not like stand-ups. Right. So we were like, we got to do a live show. What are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the ideas was that we'd throw pizza out into the audience, which. This is basically what Gallagher used to do. It wasn't that complicated. Yeah. But, I don't remember. It was just like the world of the khaki pants and the bad...
That's true, the khaki pants.
I mean, it comes out of that which we did with the Shrek videos, too, which is like blatant self-promotion for somebody else, just sort of like proud of companies, This is a corporate kind of like no shame kind of vibe that we'd see in life, you know, at like a Super Bowl or something. Like Papa John's presents, you know, Whitney Houston.
Naming like a whole stadium after Papa.
Yeah.
But Papa is no longer in the house.
I've been hearing about this.
The new CEO is called Steven.
Papa
Steven?
No, Papa Steve.
Not loving it. Papa Steve.
Well, I always think like, why do companies have to keep existing forever? Like, can't things just end? Can't they just
sell it Papa,
all,
man.
sell it all off, give all the dough away?
You try giving away a pizza
I
empire.
mean, these things don't. I mean, think companies come and go, right?
Not Papa.
Not Papa.
He was built to last.
Dipping sauces are good.
That butter sauce.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's ridiculous. Also, I got a couple more. I mean, we're pretty much done here.
Okay, I'm in no rush, but keep
okay,
going.
but I've got some videos that I'd love to show you if you got some time.
Okay,
go.
Are they my videos?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, Alex Jones, I've seen you goofing on him. You have a great impression.
Yep, I can do. It takes me a little bit to get into it.
Yeah.
Yep. Folks, happy to be here.
He's also been in a little bit of a goof. Well, he got banned, a little bit of a goof. But then
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why they're doing it. Is because the powers that we have, the influence that we have, and the ability to reach the people out there scares them to death.
Right.
That is too good.
Well, here I've got a little soundbite here.
Destroy the child.
That's a little soundboard effect. He got banned, but then that was a thing that happened. But then first of all, let me just preface this because there's nothing wrong with being trans. Okay, that's not the point of what I'm about to tell you. Transient or transgender, both of them are perfectly acceptable. But he is someone who has said that being a transgender person is a mental illness. And have you seen in the news that he was actually found to be jerking his toolbox to trans porn?
Oh,
you didn't see this?
No, I didn't. No.
Let me take you through this. Well, he's kind of, I don't want to say ruined, but I feel like being banned, he had this huge thing. He was banned off everywhere, and everyone was like, it was this great social issue. We're like, freedom of speech, and he was like riding that.
Yeah.
But like a couple of days later, I think he's a meme. I think he's a meme now.
He's been a meme with all the gay frogs and stuff.
But there's people that support him, but I feel like he's been
Did
turned
you see
off.
the video, have you seen the video where the fan of his, Milo and him are sitting at a diner, and this fan comes up to him, and the guy looks like he's on meth. He looks like this tweaker, like living in a trailer somewhere, and like he just looks like he's got that thing in his eye that he believes everything Alex Jones says. And he's like, "Hey, Alex Jones, I've been following you for years." And he's all like, and Alex Jones, you could see Alex Jones just like cringing. And
I haven't
How you
seen
doing,
that.
buddy? Yeah, good. Thanks for everything you're doing. And
He's like, I got something I want to send you. I got this footage that you need to see.
Yeah.
And you could see them like getting up and leaving, and you're like,
family. And
Oh, sorry.
no, but Alex Jones is going to be haunted by these people
Well,
for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And it's nice to get a dose of like, hey, these are your people. Dude.
Yeah. People suck.
Yeah. Well, so Alex Jones,
What is
by the way, he's selling beauty products called InfoWars. Yes.
for women?
Well, it's for skincare for men because,
Okay.
he is an alpha male.
Yeah.
He's very alpha as it gets. He's so alpha that when he watches porn, even the chicks have dicks.
Wow. Let me see this. So how do we?
So
This is real. This is not a joke.
Yeah.
This is real as a
Okay,
heart
good.
attack. Okay. This is real as a heart attack, and this is fresh news.
This is today.
It's a cup from
It's
about
like
a week
few
ago.
days, but
Okay.
And
Well, it's not that fresh.
yeah. Well, I mean,
But I've been
know.
off Twitter, so who knows what's
I mean,
going
it's
on. There could
fresh.
be a
It's pretty
nuclear
fresh.
bomb detonated somewhere. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. No, as far as I'm aware, that hasn't happened, but close.
Okay. Let's see. The
years it's been my own
trans porn.
products, but these are so good.
These
And
are
I
so
heard about
good.
From family and then from George Nora.
That's
and
a
others
great
that I had
skin
to
cream,
grow.
aloe vera.
Infowars, yes. There's no space in that. InfoWarsYes.com.
So here we go.
Look,
So here's the
all
moment.
of this
Wait,
Okay.
You can.
So you doggy, right?
Yeah.
So
Hey, baby.
So okay. Now, obviously, it was a brief encounter. Now, what was it that we saw? Dan, can you tell me what was the title? Because I don't want to pull up and show anything I'm not supposed to see. But it was
Right.
something of like Dan, tell me what was the exact
Gmail.
title, if you could, please. You need to hear
Funny
this
title.
title because it's really terrific.
Geez. It was insatiable cock hunger is.
Dan, I need a direct.
All right, let me Google it real quick.
He's
I'll grab it for
divorced,
you.
man. He's got some, he has to be satisfied somehow. Self-satisfaction.
Well, I
He's
mean,
divorced,
watching
man.
pornography is fine, but
Yeah. No, I understand. You can't be.
you
and you
can't
can
be
watch
saying
that
trans
pornography.
people are mentally sick and then beating your fucking dirty ass
Right.
Alex Jones meat.
Right. No, that's good. That's good. That's so funny that now we can just see everything
Yeah.
you're doing and
You
like
can't.
opening windows. Who knows what people saw on my phone?
When you gave me that phone, there was,
I was-
weird, I
Yeah.
I showed it
We
to
could-
that.
I've got a title for you. It's
Yeah, read it, please.
the naughty T-babe Marissa Minks relieved of cock hunger by stud. So that's what it said on the screen, real briefly.
Is
there.
that trans porn?
Naughty T-girl
T-girl.
relieved of cock hunger by stud.
So confusing.
Well,
So,
there's
but
a lot.
is it clear? Like,
Yeah,
did we,
yeah,
you
it's-
can
No.
freeze. You can
Well,
freeze
people
it.
found the video because
Yeah.
they saw the title "Naughty T-girl."
Okay.
Yeah.
And then people found the video, and it is very graphic.
I was doing research, I
Well-
was finding out what's going on in that sick world.
Yeah. Well, actually, we don't even need to imagine in your
His
explanation
reaction.
because we've got it.
Oh,
And-
good.
And this is a
That's
developing.
what they want to do. They want to deride. They want
Don't
to.
get upset about this. They can
Well, this is
Oh, serious. Doesn't he look a little like Will
Yeah.
Sasso, that guy? You know Will Sasso from Fox? I mean, from
Dan does.
Mad TV. Yeah. You look up. You could look up Will.
Can we get us?
Sasso.
Let's look up Will Sasso before we
I didn't
indulge.
realize it until just now, but
Will Sasso. Am I doing that right?
I
I
could
got
be-
another S in there. Oh, this guy. He does look like a character on what was the name of that
Mad
show?
TV?
Yeah, Mad TV. So
so
here we
here's
go.
this-
This is
Oh,
the
so caller asked him.
Yeah, this
he
is
was avoiding
development.
it and avoiding it, and everyone on the internet was just talking about how he was caught watching trans porn.
I'm going to address something.
So here we go.
I got to tell you, though, it's neck and neck, though. If people don't get upset about this, they can win.
Yeah. And also, what about the trans porn on your phone, Alex? Or you were going to talk about that?
Say that again?
Trans porn on your phone?
Huh? Oh,
That's all.
I don't know about that. Sorry.
You know, I saw a couple news articles about that. It's ridiculous. I was like looking up some reporter we're
He's
trying
so
to hire today
fucking
and
embarrassed.
punched in some
Red,
number.
he's getting
and it
red.
popped up porn on my phone. Everybody's had porn pop up on their phones hundreds of times. So I'm sitting with the phone on here.
Everyone's had
showing
porn
it
pop
to
up on their
everybody,
phone hundreds
because
of
I can get a
times.
URL up in the studio, and then like something pops up, and like, oh my god! And I looked at it. It wasn't the news blurted out because there was nothing there. They blurred it to then say something was there. Then you went to it was some porn menu. I probably had porn menus pop up 500 times.
By
on
the
my
way,
phone.
by the way, I've seen the great thing about it was a 4chan detective kind of live and die by the Pepe the Frog, right? And so I've seen their detective work, and there's no doubt that this guy was looking to relieve his insatiable cock
They
hunger.
determined it wasn't some pop-up ad.
It was most
This
definitely
the video.
Yeah,
In a window.
I've seen it.
Right.
I've
yeah.
seen the detective work. Okay, there's insatiable cock
Well,
hunger.
4chan, I guess, does something right.
Well, that's the and it's the nihilism that
They love, they love to
it's
eat
just
their own. I'm
about-
sure it
it's
gives them
just-
just as much pleasure.
It's just about getting whoever's gonna
Right,
get it.
right.
you know?
They have no alliances or
No.
allegiances. Right?
No.
Well, good for you guys. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. What did I do?
No, I mean the 4chan freaks.
Yeah, no, they got
Or the
one.
detectives.
They
Caught one of your own.
Yeah, but I'll finish it because he's squirming and it's really fun to
I
watch.
love squirm.
So I appreciate your call. I mean,
It's
it's insane, ladies and gentlemen.
insane,
There's two
ladies and
types of
gentlemen.
people that look at porn and people that lie about it.
They lie
but
about
I
it.
wasn't looking at porn on my phone.
He goes, there's people who watch porn and people who lie about it, and I wasn't looking at porn. It's like, what the fuck?
Vic has a great little piece of Alex Jones, and I do it on my call-in show. By the way, that's the other thing I want to plug. Office Hours.
Office
Yeah.
hour.
Heidecker.
Yeah,
It's my little podcast call-in show.
yeah. What's
That's
the
a fun-
Facebook page?
Real Tim Heidecker. But you're telling me I should do it here on YouTube. So maybe I will.
I truly
But
believe.
you can subscribe to the podcast on the usual podcast ways.
Yeah.
But he's got a great one. I use the sample all the time. It's him going,
Was that edited or was he really just trying to get his thought out?
He did a few like, but then Vic like looped it like 8 times.
Vic really gets Alex, man. He gets him good.
I don't take phones on air that I look at porn on.
so
and
many
I
phones.
saw
Well, you do.
all that.
There's
I
a
didn't
there's a
respond
couple
to
of
it, but
phones I have which I watch porn on exclusively. Those stay in the shower. They have a Ziploc bag.
The weird
Look at the camera's already going like, I'm
Well,
getting out of here.
iPhones didn't used to be that bad like Androids.
All right, we're going to break.
It's so great. It's so great. And it reminds me so much of the Ted Cruz. You know, I thought he was going to say it was an intern or something.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't even go that far.
Right. Everyone can watch whatever they want, but don't be hypocrites about it. And start
Right.
calling
That's
for
what
it.
I'm saying. Exactly. Exactly. Well, that's about, I mean.
We're going to end on that note?
Yeah. Is there anything else that we should discuss?
No. I think it's been a lively, lovely chat.
Thank you. Well,
the audience enjoyed it.
First of all, guys, please, once again, head on over to timheidecker.com/events. Let's
party.
Let's catch a great show.
Happy
You're gonna be
Labor
throwing
Day.
no pizzas going to be thrown out at that show.
Oh,
bring your
tonight?
own pizza.
Oh, no, yeah. At the On Cinema show, you're going to get some DKR. Also, I'm doing the Adult Swim Festival. I should plug that, too.
Oh, I think I'll
in
be
October.
there. That'll be fun. I'm going to go there with Justin.
Yeah. And then office hours when I have the time, and see me in Jordan Peele's new movie, March 2019.
Well, that's not
Which
that
is so
far
weird
away.
that they
Yeah, that's
announced
actually-
the release already, and they
That is weird.
started making
You're
it.
still filming, or did you not even start filming?
No, we're in the middle. We're in the middle.
Is that real time consuming?
For him, it is.
Not for you.
No, I'm kind of in and out throughout the next few months. Sort of. It's lovely though. It's just when you can do something where you're not responsible for
That's gotta be
every
nice.
element of it, which is
Yeah.
unusual for us.
Yeah.
To just kind of be happy, not worry about we're running a little late here. How are we going to get this? You don't have to worry about any of that. It's
You
nice.
just show up.
Just show up, do your best.
And say God bless.
Is it
Thank
a
you.
lot
So
of
grateful.
memorizing lines and?
Some, but not much, and it's very, he's not super specific. It's like say what how you would say it. That kind of
That's
vibe,
cool.
Which is good because that's the one thing I'm not good at is
Yeah.
memorizing lines.
I'm afraid I can never do that either.
Yeah.
I think it's a discipline, right? And
It's you get better at it. It's like you can train your brain to do that better. But I'm still very very like what did I see? Oh, it was in Better Call Saul. This last episode there was that Gale character. Do you watch the show?
Yeah, we
I'm
do.
caught up except for the new episode.
Oh, well, the Gale character
Yeah.
from Breaking Bad.
That's right.
There's the guy that's
the
on
business
that
slave,
Billions
right?
now. Yeah. Well, he does this thing where he's like singing all these chemical compounds to a Walkman.
Right. Yeah, I
And
did.
he's doing this selenium, but diddly,
Yeah.
and he's doing it like perfectly. And I'm watching that going like, I would never be able to do that.
Pretty
it would be like a week of shooting, and maybe you could edit something together.
And it was such a short scene, like the dedication and rehearsing just for that brief little goof.
And I bet you nobody thinks about that.
Yeah.
Except me and you.
Except you're
But-
genius. You noticed it.
No, but like I did have this sinking feeling like I would never be able to do that. And what else can't I do? What if I get cast in something like that? And
Not
like,
much. Everything
I
else.
thought you
I
said
think
you're a big
can
actor.
nail.
Don't do that.
Well, Tim, I appreciate you so much coming
Mila.
out. I mean, we're needless to say, but I'll say it again. Huge fans, and
I'm
I'm very
glad.
grateful for everything you do.
I'm
And
glad
Yeah.
I think this was a positive experience for you.
it was,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
very good. I feel I'm whole now.
Good.
How was
We
it
did
for you?
It was lovely.
Good time.
Yeah, it
Had
was
some
lovely.
coffee.
Yeah. I'll never watch it or listen to it.
No, I won't
Same.
either.
You know what I mean? Like whatever
won't
I
either.
said, I hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. I hope I didn't reveal too much. I didn't ruin. I won't read the comments. Vic, maybe he's watched. Maybe he'll tell me.
Vic,
what
are
he
you
thought.
out there? God bless you. We love you too. You're great. Hit you with one of these, by the way.
Destroy the child.
It's your boy.
Some sick stuff. All right.
Well, thank you so much. We love you.
Yes,
And
maybe
I'm
I'll have
very-
you on my show.
Thank you. Yeah,
Please
we
do.
would
I'll be
love
there
to.
in a heartbeat.
Okay,
Yeah.
good to hear.
One
All
heartbeat.
right, guys.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
My instinct is to be the one wrapping it up. I'm such a
Why
natural
don't you
host.
wrap it up?
You can. You want to say the
No,
outro?
please.
We have Adam Carolla on next week. If you want to wrap it up for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for. I'll do a good one, folks. You're in for a real treat. We got one of the greats, Adam Carolla, coming up next week right here on the H3 podcast. It's going to be a lot of fun talking to Adam about all the things that he's got going on in his career.
Is it on a Thursday?
What day is that on, Dan? I think it's on a normal.
No, it is Thursday, actually.
Well, we'll get back to you on Showtime.
Showtime. Forthcoming. All right, let's wrap it up, guys. Thank you for. We will be here on Tuesday, as we always are. And,
Always in the past 2 weeks.
And we wish you all really the very best. So thank you all for watching, And have a great weekend and a happy
Labor Day.
Labor Day. Let's celebrate those labors.
Let's not belabor that.
Right. You doing a barbecue? Do anything for Labor Day?
Thank you for the applause. My daughter's birthday party will be.
Any petting? What's going on? Are you planning? You got petting animals?
We are having a Halloween-themed birthday party for her.
Oh, that's pretty cute.
Yeah. I'm dressing up as the Frankenstein.
Wow.
Will there be a picture of that online?
No. Maybe if it looks good. Maybe I will
If
spook
not,
my audience.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Whoa, is that Tim?
Yeah.
All right, let's. Adios. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching.